I look like Hello Kitty. Hey guys, it's Cathi. I know it's Christmas and it's such a happy time, and I'm just like, yay! One of my old best friends, you could say, she just went over a breakup. I recently just got over a breakup with my boyfriend of 10 months. A month ago is when we broke up, I don't remember. But I know a lot of people have a lot of difficulties with breakups, and here's my advice how to last through a breakup. Yeah, even though it's been a month ago since we broke up, yesterday kind of hurt because yesterday is supposed to be our 11-month anniversary. I want to teach you my ways of how to get over a breakup. Kind of hard, but oh well, you just want to be happy again. First step, for me in real life, my ex broke up with me when I was in school, and he was at home, and it was the last 10 minutes of class, and he texted me saying he wanted to break up. I was in a verge of tears. I was at school, so I didn't want to cry. I held my tears until I got home, and the next day there was no school because it was like a teacher panic day. I went home, I went in the bathroom, and I just cried for like 2 hours. Then I came back, I listened to music, and I watched TV. Probably the bad thing I did was try to handle it by myself, which was horrible. My first advice is when you're going over a breakup, go to your trusted best friend and tell her what happened right away, because nothing is worse than keeping things to yourself, and that's something I learned. So go to your best friend or your trusted adult or teacher and tell them what happened. Nothing is better than telling the truth. I know what I did was literally I didn't tell my mom about it. I told my hip hop friend, and I was really close with her, and she told me to come pop teacher's beginner class. And I went and I held my tears. I went through the whole day teaching, and I was in the car. And I was in a bad mood because my ex texted me, hey, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to breathe. When I got home, me and my mom kind of had a fight in the car, and I was in a really bad mood. So I went in the bathroom again, and I cried more. It was to a point that I felt really alone because no one was really answering me. Because I don't really have that many friends because I just lost one of my best friend not too long ago. I went to my mom and I told her what happened, and she took me out for ice cream, and I was like kind of okay. Well, my advice is always tell a friend or a trusted adult what happened because it helps when you talk it out. The next day, I was okay. Like, I spent the whole night crying. Of course, like, there's nothing else than a girl is over a long relationship is cry the night. Especially if it's like a year, then not you need to cry. Crying helps. The next day, I was teacher planning day, I had no school. I spent the whole day kind of to myself. I didn't text anybody, I didn't call anybody. I remember worst things I did to myself Tuesday during the afternoon was not eating. Like, that was not okay for me to do that. Since I'm a vegetarian, that's actually kind of bad if you don't eat. Well, I stayed to myself. I watched TV practically the whole day. Right before my mom got home, I wanted to webcam my ex because there's some things I just wanted to tell him before it was really over. I cried it out to him. I probably had the biggest meltdown in front of him and through webcam. Advice is seriously, do not see or webcam your ex right after the breakup. You're gonna have some anger, you're gonna have some tears, you're gonna have some depression, you're gonna be upset, you're gonna have a lot of frustration between the both of you, and you're gonna make the situation a lot worse. I know, right after I hanged up on him, we kind of talked, and he had to go someplace hockey, I guess, I don't know. I kind of talked to my friend, kind of friend at the time. He was the ex of my ex-best friend, so I kind of went to him because he knows how I feel, and we talked the whole night. And that was probably the greatest things that I have ever done, was talk to somebody you have never really talked to before, and now me and him were like best friends. Probably the next day, that night, I was trying to think things through. I was trying to think about what I was supposed to do. My ex was my best friend, and I told everything to him, so I didn't know what to do. The next day, I was really, really upset. I couldn't go to school, which is probably a really bad thing to do, is miss school because of an ex. Don't miss school because you're upset over an ex, because people actually do help if you tell them. Don't keep things to yourself, unless it's something really personal. But if you need help over getting over someone, friends and people would definitely help you. No matter if it's a teacher or it's a kid or it's a baby, anybody really. I stayed home that day, and I was still upset, obviously. I was getting sick because of how upset I was. I wasn't eating. I was really upset. I just wanted to be alone. I talked to my new friend practically the whole day. He helped me feel better. I texted my hip-hop friend. The next day, you could say I was sick. I wasn't feeling well. I was still depressed. And that was probably a really bad thing because I had dance that day. Well, again, I went to dance because dance always makes me feel better and I got my mind off things. But of course, when I got home, I thought about it, which is so wrong of me to do because they made me more upset. The next day, I was just sick. Like, I was too sick to go to school. Like, I had sinus problems, I had throat problems, I had to get medicine from my doctor. Surprise, surprise, I had my friend come over. I finally broke through the depression to ask someone to come over and cheer me up. And he, being my friend of a year, best friend for a year, he took me out to get Chinese food and we went out and just had fun, and that was probably really great. I learned, now that I think about it, when you're going through a breakup, nothing is better than getting your minds off things, like hanging out with some friends, go to the movies, get your minds off of things, don't think about it. Probably one thing I should have done when was going through the breakup, exclude yourself to your ex. Like, I know if you guys want to end up with friends, better off have your space before you go on because you're still going to have the mixed feelings. So yeah, I went back to school the next week and I felt pretty much a lot better. Talking to him, it was kind of hard because you're reliving the whole memories again, going through the happiness, especially if he's going to move on faster than you, which in a relationship that lasts a long time, you both need time to move on. You can't move on that fast. Like, you still have to get over your feelings over each other. And if he moves on faster, like, let's say you guys have been dating for 3 years and he moves on in 2 weeks, then there's a problem because then he never really loved you. Because honestly, true love takes forever to unbind. It'll probably take a couple weeks to a couple months. For my situation, it would take me quite a while to move on. He kind of moved on fast, which shouldn't be right. My advice, based on my experience, when your ex hangs out with new girls or old friends, you're gonna have jealousy because it's kind of duh. Just don't get upset because that's probably the worst things I've gone was haywire on him because of how upset I was. For me, what I did, which was kind of good, I just limited myself to him and I hanged out with more of my friends. I hanged out with my best friend. I hanged out with my friend Minik. My birthday was coming up. I was trying to get my mind off things. And then there's a case of him moving on, which is the most hurtful thing in the world. Of course, that long, you're going to have some what are you doing moments. Here, let me tell you the story, but I'm not going to mention any names. And he's probably going to watch this and be like, you're talking about me? In my case, he went to this concert and he met 2 girls. I happen to know one of these girls because she used to be in my area. She kind of has a reputation, and I'm not saying it's a bad or good reputation because I probably don't want to cause rumors or anything. He met her at the concert, and he posted a picture on Instagram. For me, I'm really sensitive. It kind of hurt to see him move on so fast, especially it's been like 2-3 weeks after we broke up. And it was right after my birthday. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. Of course I got jealous. I didn't really say anything, but when I just told him, being the good friend I am, just to be careful, because I don't want to see him hurt again. And then he got mad at me for saying that I was overreacting and I don't know her. I don't know what to do because I was just trying to help you based on what I said. Another advice I'll say, don't get involved with your ex's new relationships. If he wants to move on, let him. If he gets hurt, let him. It's not your business. They became flirting. I saw all the tweets on Twitter, and of course I got upset. I made myself feel worse right after I was starting to move on. I happened to meet this girl in my new school. Her name is blank. I don't want to cause anything right now. I vented out to her. I showed her the tweets, I showed her the pictures, I showed her how I felt. I wrote down everything that I felt about myself, and she helped me laugh through it. She told me how the good person I am, how I should not worry about this. And pretty much now to this day, if I have a problem, I'll go to her because she really does help me. She jokes around and she makes me laugh, and she's a really good friend. Now I'm in the process of they're about to date. I'm having trouble accepting that, but it's going to happen. If you guys break up, and the other person is going to bound to go out with anybody. But in my perspective, I'm going to move on in my own time. I'm not going to rush things. I'm not looking for a relationship right now. I'm just going to let things go by their own, just enjoy my friend, enjoy life. The things, the do's and don'ts of moving on, do not blame it on yourself. It's never your fault. You had nothing to do with the breakup. It is never your fault. Don't blame anything on yourself. Do not hurt yourself. Do not think bad about yourself. It's not your fault. And that's probably what I should have thought, because I thought everything was my fault. I thought I was the loser. I thought I wasn't worth it. I wasn't good enough. It was probably the worst thoughts I have ever thought about myself. Don't rush things to your next relationship. You don't want to think your next relationship is going to be like your last. Of course, people are different. It's never going to be the same. But also go on your own time. Don't rush into a new relationship, because it's actually going to like haywire and it's going to go down low worse than the other one. So please move on when you're ready. Like, don't let anyone force you to move on faster. I repeat, do not hook up with anybody. It's like the biggest no-no you can ever do. Honestly, you're going to get more hurt if you start hooking up with people instead of being in a faithful relationship again. Don't stay alone. Basically, just stay with your friends and have fun and live your life. You only have one life, and you get to live it every single day. But when you're upset, I think for girls, I think ice cream and chocolate's your best friend, but don't overdo it, because you don't want to gain excess pounds, because you're single now. You have to, yeah, I'm attractive and stuff, but everyone's beautiful just the way they look. But if you don't want to cause unnecessary thoughts about yourself, oh, I'm getting fat, oh, blah, blah, blah. Another is go read, go write down your feelings. That's probably my best bet. I wrote down everything how I felt about myself, everything how I felt, and it actually made me feel a lot better, helped me connect with my new friends, and so it really does help. So that's one thing I recommend, is writing. A don't is stay away from romance novels for a while, because you're going to start thinking about your ex, and it's not a good idea. Especially when you think, oh, I miss him so much, I miss how we used to do this, or oh, it just happened. Just stay away from romance novels for a while until you move on. Romance movies, doesn't matter. Sorry, Twilight fans. Do exercise, but don't overdo it. Exercise, for me, I dance. Dance is my passion, and it actually did help me relieve some stress. It helped me relieve some anxieties. Also, running does help a lot too. I love to run with music, and it helped me a lot. Do not miss school because of a breakup. That was probably the worst decision I have ever made. Go to school, learn. You only live once. You have your whole life ahead of you. Don't let one relationship ruin it. Do not try to kill yourself, because I know a lot of people who have to try because of relationship problems. One of my closest friends killed himself because of a breakup. So please don't. It's not worth it. Those are my do's and don'ts over what to do when you're going through a breakup. I know it's really hard when you first think about it, but life gets easier. Of course, it always does. One relationship ruin the rest of your relationships, or ruin your life, because you can be happy being single, you know. You don't necessarily need to be with someone to be happy. You can be happy just being you. By your friends, having fun, living your life, and doing the things you want to do. Yeah, those are my tips, and I hope it helped to some people. I know I probably did kind of irresponsible. I did kind of stupid things while I was going through a breakup, but now I'm teaching guys not to do it, and definitely I'll think about it next time I'm in a relationship, which won't be for another while. But yeah, so I hope everyone has a great Christmas. I hope everyone stays strong, and remember, I love you guys. I'll always be here for you. Here's a heart, because hearts are amazing. See? Kissy. And so I hope this helps to some people, and I love you guys. Okay, bye.